Have you ever been in a situation where you had to rush to a friend or a neighbor or maybe a Toastmaster to explain to you a letter that you received from the real estate, announcement, a message on your mobile, because you could not read it yourself? How many times did you come across a situation where you could not communicate with a police officer or a traffic officer on the road? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening.
Good evening.
Language. I'm sorry about the screen. It's too violent, but anyway. Is one language enough from your point of view?
No.
From my point of view, I think one language, if you know one language, there are a lot of limitations there. Limitations could be in communication, could be in thinking, or could be in self-development. Some people might say, I know English, and English is a universal language. That's true. But is English enough?
No.
I'll share a very short story with you. I was in Germany on a trip from Frankfurt to a place called Osnabrück in the north. And the trip was for 6 hours. My wife and I wanted to have something like snacks or drinks. So I went to the cafeteria area. Behind the counter, there was a huge chap, long mustache, red face. As he saw me coming, he had an eye contact with me. And that was really very nice. So I started, said, excuse me, you speak English? Those words were like the magic hat. I became invisible. He did not hear me, he did not speak to me, he did not have any eye contact with me, and he went back to his work. Politely I said again, sir, you speak English? I'm not there. No impression, no sign, nothing. Few people came in, they spoke to him, they took whatever goods they wanted, and they went away. I repeated my question again. Excuse me, do you speak English? 4, 5, 6 times I repeated the question. Then he fed up. He looked at me and said, you speak Dutch? I said, no, sir. He said, why should I speak English? Turned his face and went away. I went back to my wife and I told her that I said, oh, English did not help me in that situation. I'm not saying it is bad, but I'm saying one language is good, but only if it's used within a community that uses that language only. Now, let's share some facts. CIA Book of Facts gives some statistics. It says 5.6% of the human community of population speak English as a first language. 4.7 speak English as a second language. And 3.2 speak English as the third language. That leaves 86.5% of the world population don't speak English at all. So English is not the magic language. What are the benefits of learning other languages? Let's have a quick look here. First of all, it gives you an exposure to different cultures. Because when you get inside the culture, you know the language, you understand the feelings of the people, then definitely you are in a better way to understand. Second thing is employment. There are better chances for you if you speak a different language to have a job. Those who speak 2 or 3 languages have better chances than others. It promotes multinational understanding, means multicultural needs to have better communication. And only if you know the language properly, you can get that communication. Make long life friends. In fact, through your communication in that particular language, you tend to have communication with native speakers, and you have friends that you can communicate with them, and they appreciate the effort that you make to learn their language to communicate. Now, you want to learn Arabic?
Yes.
Good. Now let's see, have a look. The Arabic I'm talking about is not this. ما في مشكل صديق. Or maybe أنا ما في معلوم. Or حتى جامع, as somebody says. This is not the Arabic language I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the professional Arabic, the Arabic for business, the proper Arabic. Those who speak Arabic here will know the difference, but definitely they will agree that this is not Arabic. Now, why Arabic? In my point of view, the first reason and most important is that you live and work in an Arab country. You deal with people, you deal with organizations, you deal with regulators. If you don't read their communication properly, understanding and take the proper action, that could be a catastrophe. The other reason for that is there is a high demand and low supply, and that is in business are the two factors that call for goods and services and employees. Outside the Arab, outside the Middle East, let's say, very few people relatively know Arabic. If you know Arabic, that gives you better chances to get employment in the Arab world. In different businesses and jobs. Could it be education, could be teaching, could be finance, banking, translation, interpretation. So it opens the door for you to give the services to the Arab people or to the foreigners in the Arab world. The Middle East, as we know, is a very fast-growing area, and it has a very substantial part of the world business. That business needs people who come to the area to understand the culture, to understand the feelings, to understand the language, to understand the expressions of the people who live here. So, if you know Arabic in the proper way, that means the door is open for you to invest in this area. Now, as just a figure, the GDP in the Arab world is about $600 billion a year. And that is a lot of money. That is a lot of work to be done. And that is the link between the Arab world and the other world. So it is a very good chance for us to have good investment here. The geographical spread, as we know that Arabic is the official language of 22 Arab countries and some other minorities who live outside the area. That makes the spread is very big, and the speakers in the Arab world is around 350 million as of now, and the Arabic is considered one of the recognized languages in the United Nations and other international bodies, and it is the 5th spoken language worldwide. Now, before this, in fact, I spoke to some people to see why they don't go for the Arabic language learning. And the concern they expressed, I could group them in 3 major ones. One is instructors. In fact, teaching Arabic as a second language differs from teaching Arabic to the Arab people. So the instructors who are ready to do that are really very good. And the second one is time. Most of the classes for training and for learning are in fact done in the office hours, which it does not suit most of you because you should be in the offices. And the third factor is the cost. Last week, somebody said that 2 to 3 days training session would cost about couple of $100. In fact, that is a very low cost. And learning language usually takes months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, maybe 1 year. So can you imagine that? The cost is very high. Now, I have an offer for you. One, the instructors. Have somebody who knows English because he's an English graduate, and he knows Arabic, not because it's his mother tongue, but because he masters Arabic. And his manager on his retirement said in his speech that he is the Shakespeare of Arabic. Third, he's a Toastmaster who believes that helping others to grow is part of his mission in this. So, number one is skill. Time. We're preparing for classes that start after office hours. And we are doing that 3 times a week, 3 days. That gives us the opportunity to give 2 sets of classes, 6 days a week. So, time is all right. You know what to pay? All right? Let's talk about cost. Cost is, if you pay the venue rent, if you pay for the study materials, and if you pay for some snacks and refreshments, that's what you need to do. Gentlemen, I have a bonus for you. Language in classroom is not enough. We need to practice language. For that, we agreed with some enthusiastic Arabic speakers to hold, or to copy rather, a meeting of the Toastmaster once a week, where they can speak only pure Arabic, where you can practice what you have learned in the classroom, and they charge you nothing. We'll choose one topic, and we'll be very specific in discussing that. Gentlemen, what do you think now about Arabic? Can you repeat after me? دعونا نتكلم العربية. دعونا نتكلم العربية. Can you repeat the first word? See, these are the first 3 words in Arabic we learn now. It means let's learn Arabic. Mr. Toastmaster.